Hello there and welcome. In this section, we will create our models and connect to database. So before creating our models, first create our types for models. In this section, we are going to create two models for one for album and another is track. So what will happen? A track have multiple singers or multiple lyricists and a single title and the album have multiple tracks. So we are going to use one to many relationship between track and album. So we have one album and corresponds to them have many tracks. So let's first create our types folder, types, uh, and in type let's first create track types for track. So this is our type for track. It has title, album, singer, and lyricist, and thumbnail URL, and file URL, the actual MP3 file. So this document is coming from Mongoose document type. So let's import it first. Also we have the object ID type. Let's import that. We are importing Mongoose document and object ID. This object ID. Now it will also maybe album or object ID because I have didn't added album here because we will create album type then we will add it here. So this our track type is complete. Now let's create album type. Similarly, I will do for album here. Album have name, thumbnail URL, and release date. Thumbnail URL might be optional, and release date also be optional. So we have extended it with document, Mongoose document. So now let's add here album type. Album might be object ID or type album. Now we got album and object ID. So finally we have created both of the types. Now let's create schema and models for them. So I will create new folder named as model. I have created album schema and it has name, release date, and thumbnail URL as same as our album type. Now let's import the album in this file. So it is completed. After that, I have created an album model, which is of type of model and exporting default as album model, so we can use it anywhere in our code. See, now let's create for track schema. Now in our track schema, we have title, album, singer, lyricist, thumbnail URL, and file URL. Now let's import track on track type also. So our both of the schemas are ready. Now first let's create a database connection configuration. So in config file I'll create db.config.ts. Here we have our connect db function which will connect to our database with the provided db URL. First we are checking if we have db URL in our environment or we will use this as a database connection string. Now we will go in our main.ts. Here we will import our database config and connections for MongoDB. I am calling connectDB, which will connect to the database we have provided. After that, I am using Mongo's connection 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 function, which will open once, and if we have connected to our database, then it will start our server. So connected once it has multiple events like open and connected or disconnected, all this. So if we are connected to database, then we will print connected to database, and we will start our server. So let's save it and try to run the project. Before running, let me start my MongoDB server. And let's run the project npm run dev. So sorry, we have in source directory, we have to go in server, and then run npm run dev. Now we are successfully connected to our database, and our server is started. So in next video we will create our controller